Hey, I don't date liars. I don't date cheaters. Okay, I dated a cheater a couple times. But she ain't cheat on me that I know of. Why am I even telling y'all any of my personal business? Not that I know of. The point is, the video is called My Girlfriend Turned Out to Be a Compulsive Liar. Compulsive liar is when someone just can't stop lying for whatever reason. I guess their reality is so messed up in their own heads that the truth to them is just astronomically just wild. Like they can't comprehend so they gotta lie just to keep up, you know. And then you tell one lie, you gotta tell another lie. Before you know it, you gotta keep up with it, and you pretty much gotta keep up with all your lies you made. So that's why I don't trust people. Hey, Instagram link, Twitter link, donation link in the description below. Send me dank memes, comments, tweets. DM me. I see y'all follow me on Twitter too. I see y'all. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all. I see y'all. Follow me on Twitter. Anyway, my girlfriend turned out to be a compulsive liar. Let's get it.
Morgan was heading to this weekly improv show, but his friend, whom he usually went with, was out of town. So he posted an open invite on a university Facebook group. Morgan got exactly one response from this random girl, Alice. She came to the show and they hit it off big time. Cue the coffee meetups, the Netflix binges, they started dating. Life was pretty good for a while.
Clapping cheeks.
Then came the first messages. This man Morgan had never met, named Eric, was sending angry Facebook DMs detailing why Morgan's not a good boyfriend and that he's hurting Alice and how he just doesn't understand her like Eric does. Morgan was a bit annoyed, but mostly confused. He talked to Alice about it, but she just hand-waved it away. He's a jerk, she said. I don't hang out with him anymore. It wasn't the most satisfying explanation, but aggressively jealous guys aren't exactly an anomaly. So Morgan just blocked him and thought that was the end of it. A few months passed by. Alice had planned to study abroad, so when Morgan came back to school, she was already halfway across the world. It was only a few months, he thought. No big deal. But over those next few months, Morgan would become Facebook acquainted with a myriad of strange individuals. There was Leah. She sent an array of messages justifying Eric's anger, reiterating that Morgan's relationship was unhealthy and toxic, and that Alice and Eric have much better history. She also included a blurry photo of a girl sitting on top and making out with a skinny guy. Both of their faces were obscured, but Leah swore it was Alice and Eric from some time during the summer. There was Nick. His Facebook pic was a guy on a skateboard in front of a sunset. He readily admitted that he had feelings for Alice.
I know this is not the best time to stop the video, I know. When they showed him on his skateboard over and it did like the sound, it reminded me of like a Law and Order. You know that Law and Order criminal specials unit or whatever when they do like the da-da, you know what I'm talking about?
In the criminal justice system, sexually based offenses are considered especially heinous. In New York City, the dedicated detectives who investigate these vicious felonies are members of an elite squad known as the Special Victims Unit. These are their stories.
Well, now you know what I'm talking about. I just did it. Edits. YouTube edits. You gotta love it. That's what it reminded me of, and I don't know why it made me smile. Anyways, I'm
made clear that neither he nor Eric had any right to be upset about her not being with them. He said that Leah and Eric were liars and he tried to set them straight. Relative to the others, he seemed semi-okay, but he let slip a few really bitter-sounding messages. There was Hannah. She showed up after Morgan blocked Leah. She claimed to be a childhood friend of Alice. There was Chris. He would send one cryptic message every once in a blue moon.
Leave her now.
He never replied to any of Morgan's messages. There was Mark. He apologized for the actions of the others. He tried to fill Morgan in on the group's dynamics and history. In the physical absence of Alice, he offered to meet him to talk. They set up a time and place, but he never showed up and Morgan never heard from him again. There was Sarah, there was David, there were so many. This was all spread over a period of time. Morgan usually blocked or stopped hearing from one person before hearing from another. Meanwhile, Alice is extremely difficult to get a hold of. Even when she responds, she's really dismissive of the whole subject. I don't know what to do, she said. And then Morgan gets an accusation. One day Alice sends him the question, "Who's Mary?" Morgan tells her the truth, that he doesn't know who Mary is. She sends screenshots of texts she received from an unknown number. In them, the sender wrote that her name is Mary and that she's in love with Morgan. "He told me he loved me," Mary wrote. "He slept with me and now he has not called me back." He started to get texts from Mary. She asked why he hadn't called her, if he meant what he said. She said she had seen Morgan on campus, here, there, at this event, at this particular time, and every time she would say a location, he realized that he had actually been at that place at that time. Was he being stalked?
That's wild.
Morgan started looking over his shoulder. He didn't know what to do. He had no face and no name to report. He calls Alice and tells her he can't do this anymore. Morgan had no clue what was going on, but he knew somehow that they were all involved and he wanted no part in it. And he cut off all contact with Alice.
Smart.
Then all of a sudden, everything, the messages, the texts, they all stopped. A friend of Morgan realized something soon after. Barely any of Alice's friends had their faces on Facebook. Eric's pic was some photo of a Tumblr blog full of cute nerds. The photo of Chris was an obscure photo of Justin Bieber. The photo of Nick, the skateboarder, was a stock photo. Hannah's photo was art from a book ad. David was apparently a Korean pop singer, and they also noticed something else. All of their photos were created around the same time he met Alice. To this day, Morgan doesn't understand it. Fast forward 2 years, he gets a text from an unknown number. The number looks familiar, he thinks to himself. And then he realized it's Alice. The text consists of one word. "Sorry, Alice. Let's not meet again."
That's not what I thought at all. That was weird. What does she technically lie about? I mean, I thought it would be like he caught her in like a bunch of little lies like she would do. And then it progressively got worse or something like that. Not just weird people stalking him on the internet. That happens to me all the time. That happens to me a lot, actually. I just block them. If they send hate, block. They weird, block. They trying to meet up with me in person. Well, that's never happened before, but I'm sure it wouldn't be too good. I don't know. So do y'all think she made all those profiles and was just like sending him messages to like break? Well, how would she do that instead of just break up with him? That don't make no sense either. If you don't like to do it, just, I don't want to be with you no more. You a scrub. Scrub is a man that can't get no love from me. And just break up with him. Why the extra theatrics? So she made all those posts or all those profiles just to message him to break up? Food for thought. What do y'all think? Hey! Y'all like and sub. Comment your favorite part. Instagram link, Twitter link, donation link in the description below. DM me. Pictures, tweets, memes, all those good, funny things. Hey, that rhymed. Hey, let's go. Love you as usual. That was kind of weird. I didn't really like that video. What do y'all think? I don't say I didn't like it. It wasn't what I thought it was. Much like a lot of things in life. I'm out. Adios, sayonara. See you later.
There was Nick. His Facebook pic was a guy on a skateboard in front of a sunset. He readily admitted that he had feelings for Alice.
I know this is not the best time to stop a video, I know. When they showed him on the skateboard and it did like the sound, it reminded me like a Law and Order.